Okay. Call to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Luis Cabrera,
Present.
Councilmember Africa Luna Carrasco,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Ponce, Councilmember Matias Rosales,
Present.
Councilmember Gloria Torres,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mario Buchanan Jr.,
Present.
Mayor Gerardo Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's see. We're going to go with item number 2A, discussion of possible action staff and on matters regarding the garden area fencing at the Cesar Chavez Culture Center. Mr. Galaviz.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. We had brought this back up again just because we were just finalizing some bids. We had to go back and get some different, make sure that the companies that were bidding were qualified and met the sorry, I lost my.
No.
Yeah, register of contractors, sorry. We're coming back to you tonight to really get your direction on moving forward with Yepes Enterprises. They had the lowest bid to be able to improve the outside area of the cultural center.
And that's metal fencing. I believe.
Yes, it's a metal fencing area around. And those were the three bids at Yepes at the bottom.
Yeah.
So really it was just going back and reviewing the bids and making sure they have their registered contractors information.
Okay.
And that's why we couldn't present last meeting. This is part of the CIP plan to improve the outside of the cultural center, providing a garden area for special events and increase the capacity when we do events.
I know they're doing a lot of welding, especially for, I guess, not CBP, but for the security agency. He does a lot of welding for them, and they're doing a lot of custom work. Also, they're also doing a lot of artistic work also. So I've seen their welds. They're good. They're good people. I have no questions. Any council member has a question or concern? If not, proceed.
Thank you.
Item number 2B, discussion of possible direction of staff and all matters regarding the final design and placement location of the San Luis tourism letters.
Again, Mayor and Vice Mayor and council members, we bring this to you. If you could put the picture up, I think that's the text at the bottom. I think the Main Street tourism letters. Let's see if that. Yes. So we are working. We went out to bids, and we're able to find lower bids to move forward with the San Luis signs letters that were previously approved at council meetings. This was the design that was selected by council. So we're working with a local engineer and fabricator to be able to get these installed. As you can see, we also are going to add some additional turf and design that will complement the peace pole that we were going to install for Rotary. So this is the corner of Urs Swastigi and Main. And so that will have a new design as we have, a large number of pedestrians walking that area. This will give them the opportunity to see the sign. We're going to put some fencing around for safety. and really dress it up. So that would be an area of tourism to be able to take a picture and promote the city of San Luis. Of course, Mayor and Council, we've been working with the different design companies. And so we want to just move forward with that project to hopefully get that done by the end of this month.
Okay, good. Good. No, it's an area that's transited by mostly pedestrians, which is good. Is the sign being fabricated as we speak?
No, we will need your approval as
Okay.
soon as we have approval in the next council meeting. We will move forward, and they said they can get that done pretty quick, and we kind of they gave us a time frame of hopefully by the end of the month, no later than probably mid-November.
Okay, good. I have no questions. Does council have any questions, concerns? Okay, proceed.
Thank you.
Item number 2C, discussion of possible direction of staff and all matters regarding the budget adjustments for temporary staffing expenses of the annual cleanup campaign. George?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, staff, and audience presence. So Mayor, Jorge Perez, Assistant Director of Public Works. This item is basically, as mentioned by you, a request to transfer funding from the solid waste salary account into the contractual services account. And the reason for that is during budget preparation for this year, Mayor and Council graciously approved us 8 temporary positions for the assistance with the cleanup campaign this year. At the time, we didn't know the exact approach towards hiring those positions, and we budgeted them under the salaries account. During the onboarding, HR assisted us with the hiring of this personnel, and they came up as a contractual services through a hiring agency. So that's the request for the transfer from the salary accounts into the contractual services account.
What is the amount you're going to transfer?
It'll be not to exceed $77,000. And this is, we don't expect to exceed this amount based on the duration of the cleanup campaign.
Okay, salaries 40, contractual 77, budget to be decreased, taken from budget to revised. Okay.
And the same matter, or same topic, we had to move forward with the issuance of the purchase order to this contractual agency due to the cleanup campaign is starting this week. So it actually already started this Monday. So we're asking as well for the ratification of the purchase order.
This is for the employees that were hired for the campaign.
That is correct.
Okay, not for regular employees, but. Okay.
It'll be only temporary employees are going to be assisted during that campaign only, and for that purpose only.
Okay, 77,000. Yes,
It's
ma'am.
a staffing agency.
Okay. I have no questions. Does council have any questions or concerns?
On your screen, this is a very brief update on the campaign.
This is number 2?
This is it.
Is this the first one this year, or is it the number 2?
This is the only one for.
This is the only
this
one,
year.
okay, yeah.
So we only conduct one campaign per year.
I thought we did 2. Yeah,
No, we're doing one, although the difference this year is that we extended additional 2 routes more because of the growth of the city. So we were doing only 6 routes, 6 weeks of campaign. This year, we're gonna be doing 8. That's a flyer already posted everywhere, social media, website, shared through email with the residents and also available for pickup at City Hall.
okay, good.
That's the entire map of the campaign that we're gonna be conducting. We actually already started with section 1, which is on your upper right corner. Some of the acceptable items and unacceptable items. And these are a couple pictures of the campaign already started. And actually, these 2 guys are 2 temporary employees hired through this agency as well, this gentleman and those on the picture above
These are actually pictures that are happening.
this week.
Wow. So who is moving?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, good job. Good work, good work. You know, other communities charge the person a certain amount of fee based on the size of the load. And that's what communities in California, for example, do. If you have a chest or if you have an old bed, they'll charge you for it. And you'll pay more than it's worth. So, yeah,
And
we're very fortunate.
And aside from the campaign that we conduct once a year, we also have that services outside of the campaign. If residents have items that they want to get rid of and don't have the means to take them down to the landfill, we can assist with that at a cost.
For now. For now. Sí, porque once we hit 50,000, it's gonna get really expensive. Just food for thought. Como dicen. I have no questions. Does anyone have questions, concerns? Proceed. Item number 2D, discussion of possible direction of staff on all matters regarding the city of San Luis purchasing slur seal application services from American Pavement Preservation for the application of type 2 slurry seal as part of the fiscal year 2022-2023 pavement preservation project. Mr. Perez.
Mayor and council, again, this item is regarding the pavement preservation program, continuance for the city of San Luis. The Public Works Department has been doing this for almost 8 years now, since 2014. On the screen, you're seeing the map showing the last 4 years of pavement preservation. And with this item, we're hereby requesting authorization to move and piggyback the contract the city of Yuma has for this service in the amount not to exceed 200,000 for this year. Actual this calendar year, we usually do 2 rounds per fiscal year, so this will be the very first one for fiscal year 22-23. I don't know if you have any questions in regards
wait.
to that. I'm also have a PowerPoint presentation showing some of the pictures of the pavement preservation,
We started this project when?
2014.
2014? Okay. For the record, thank you. Good, I have no question.
No.
It's something that needs to be happen. Appreciate it. Appreciate the hard work the staff does, and it's amazing. The impact that we're actually doing on our streets. And thank you for comparing the two images there. Wow, big difference.
So there are multiple pictures within the PowerPoint, of before and after pictures of pavement preservation, some completely renovations of roads and some preservation of them.
Is there no way we can, Jose Luis, is there no way we can actually share these with the community? Because I think it's very important they see the difference. Mr. Rivera?
If I may, Mayor, members of council, I mean, I think some of you were when we started with the payment preservation here, and I mean, thank you for confidence with staff and in starting this payment preservation, but I can say, it's made a big difference
Yeah.
in the way the streets were and the way the streets are now. On top of all the traffic that we get from our residents and for transient traffic that comes across the border. But I mean, over the years, since we started this, I mean, we've invested close to $3 million in just pavement preservation.
Wow.
On top of all the new pavement, this is just the chip seal and slurry, crack seal. So thank council for the help with that.
That's
It makes a
amazing.
big difference for us to send somebody out there to crack seal, to prep for the pavement preservation versus send somebody out to the streets to do potholes,
Exactly.
so. thanks.
No, it works. It makes a big difference. And the thing is, I know we've had less complaints and that makes a big difference. And thank you, Mr. Vera, for assessing, for you and your staff assessing which streets need replacement, period. And I know one of those replacements is almost as expensive as what we spent over doing the seal.
Yeah, I mean, just, and I mentioned it before, I think, but just for comparison on the price wise, I mean, the square yard of slurry or chip seal varies from $1.15 to approximately $3 at the most when it's chip seal. Payment right now, close to $50 a square yard on some of our main roads.
Wow, yeah.
I used to say it was about $35, but not anymore.
It's
I mean,
50,
we
60.
paved a couple of streets recently and it's through the roof, the price of paving.
Thank you.
In the words of the mayor, low cost, high impact, and unfortunately, these are the projects that are unrecognized. I mean, we could do ribbon ceremonies for a new car wash, a new Starbucks and all that stuff, but these projects that you and staff do on a daily basis and on a yearly basis make a big difference, and unfortunately, the general public doesn't realize it and capture it. I think that's why the mayor is saying if our, I mean, 'cause I know you guys are busy, let the public information officer share this stuff so you guys can get the credit for it, and people could see this before and after because you forget. I mean, so appreciate all the hard work you guys do and continue this preservation of our streets as we grow.
Well, so at least make sure we post something like that we mentioned, and also what has been invested, and also for comparison, how much, for example, Beach Street cost? How much did it cost to replace the whole street compared to the preservation and what we're doing right now? So it's very important. Thank you. Any questions or concerns from council? If not, proceed, for forward.
Thank you, Mayor.
Item number 2E, discussion of possible direction of staff on matters regarding future signal lights intersection and city circulation improvement projects. I brought this up because it's always been a concern, and the thing is, winter is just around the corner. And I want to make sure that the public is aware of things are coming, things are being done. Mr. Vera.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Yolo Javeda, Director of Public Works. So, in this item, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on and it takes, I mean, some of these bigger projects take a long time to develop, design. And unfortunately, since we have a lot of federal land and state land, sometimes right away and permitting takes even longer. So I'll start off with one of the main connections, roadways that we been waiting for and are waiting for even now is County 24th Street. County 24th Street connecting the east part of town with the west part of town along County 24th Street and 10th Avenue, shown here on the screen. So it was designed more than a year ago. We started the permitting process, and then they came back, they wanted a full environmental assessment for land that's fully disturbed, already has a water line in the ground. Border Patrol, how floaters use it. So it was something really that wasn't expected. But we hired a consultant. They're working with us and Bureau of Reclamation to get that environmental assessment completed. We expected to get the permit around November and hope to start construction in December, or at least go to bid for a contractor. So we got about 1.2 million from HERF, or as a HERF exchange through YMPO. And then we have about I think 900,000 in the budget from city funds to complete the construction of this project. So if everything goes well, we should be completed with this project before the end of the fiscal year.
Very good.
Okay, so this is one of the main corridors that will alleviate traffic on Cesar Chavez between 10th and even before 8th. People are gonna go around through U Street over. So this is just one project on that I want to present tonight as, important projects. Other things that are going on. I think open the other exhibits. Yeah, that PowerPoint. The other thing that's going on that's very critical for our area is really the port of entry expansion. I mean, we expect significant increase in traffic in the downtown area. And with that, we trying to plan for what improvements are going to be needed to be able to mitigate that additional influx of vehicles and pedestrians. We're working on a circulation study with Kimberly Horn, which is a big firm. And we are coordinating along with a consultant with the Mexico side. And they are also doing a circulation study on their side. And this is really mainly to try and be ready for this additional influx.
Yeah.
So that's just, I was here. Really, this is mainly. Oh, my pointer is not working.
¿Qué pasó?
This is mainly, it's not working, my pointer's not working, but, it's mainly in the downtown area. But really, in the study, the circulation study is mainly from the port of entry all the way to Cesar Chavez Boulevard, from Fourth Avenue to San Luis Plaza Drive. Oh, there it goes. It wasn't working.
Ande, pues.
So yeah, so it's mainly this area here. But really, that's the critical area where we need to decide how we're gonna get the traffic away from the port of entry. So that's in progress. We should get the study finalized November, December. And with that, for next year, we're gonna start trying to set aside funds for prioritizing which projects we want, which streets we want to widen, which intersection we want to widen. So that's gonna be to be ready for the port of entry. So that's in progress. Along with that, another traffic study that's ongoing right now is County 24th Street. I mean, we're actually making the connection along County 24th Street here, but we are actually conducting a traffic study to be ready to see whether we need a signal there on Avenue F in County 24th Street, whether we need anything else further east of Avenue E, mainly to try and prevent the congestion that we currently have on Cesar Chavez. We want to try and be ready for that. And this traffic study will tell us when we'll need those signals, whether we need them in a year from now, whether we need them 4 or 5 years from now. But at least that we're ready to, as developers, to help and for the compensation to fund these projects.
Okay, good.
So that's on its way. Another project that's actually ongoing right now, but that's in collaboration with developer, is we're actually working or reviewing the design of Avenue E and County 24th Street for a signal there. That's right now under review and will be going into construction in the next 6 months.
Very good.
Okay. Another traffic signal that's gonna be coming in the next 6 months, I would say, to a year, is the signal on Avenue F and San Luis Lane, or 23.5. That's right next to the new school that's going in. So that's also gonna help circulation. I'm talking about East San Luis, so I might as well discuss Avenue F widening. That was one of the projects that was given priority during budget retreat. So on that one, we have reached out to consultants to get started on design. But really before that, we also need to annex that area just because it's a county island.
It's an island, yeah.
So discuss with the county to see whether they can issue us permission to do the work. But they just said, just annex, take it over. And I think that's the best way for the city to go, because once it's annexed, it's ours. We can invest in our land. And that includes the winding of Avenue F from San Luis Lane to Cesar Chavez, as well as the intersection of Avenue F and Cesar Chavez, which we were going to work on, but now it's going to be part of the Cesar Chavez winding project.
Okay, so we're trying to make it part of it.
So either way, we're going to work on the annexation. Talking
Yeah.
to plan and zoning is probably around a 6-month process,
Okay, good.
plus or minus, but that's really what we're looking at. So moving east, we have the signal on Fourth Avenue and Cesar Chavez Boulevard that we have pretty close to final design. We're waiting on utilities to finalize and go out to bid. But now we have the good news that we have funding to do Cesar Chavez winding. So with that, it wouldn't make sense to do these signals just because everything would need to be built per ADOT standard to use those funding. So we're gonna, at least staff is recommending to do it as part of the overall Cesar Chavez winding. And with that said, we would be doing 6th Avenue, 4th Avenue, and 10th Avenue along Cesar Chavez Boulevard, along with Avenue F. And I mean, we can always look at trying to beat that schedule. But it really will be doing a design, inconvenience to the public, and then 2 years down the road, coming again and reworking that same intersection. So usually it's not recommended to do that to citizens or for, investment as well.
Yeah.
As part of the Fourth Avenue, project and Cesar Chavez Boulevard, we had Union and Fourth intersection widening. So we would have to, we will be undertaking that intersection before Cesar Chavez Boulevard. We just have to split it from the original scope that encompass that intersection as well.
Okay.
I don't have it on the map, but recently Fourth Avenue, what was improved right next to our public works yard,
Yeah.
coming down the hill from the valley. I mean, that increased visibility significantly. So that's completed, not on the map, but that's been completed. And then on Fourth Avenue and County 22nd, we have a design to go out to construction. But we stopped because now that Cesar Chavez will be fully widened in a couple of years. Talking to traffic engineers, we think that we need to include double left turns on that intersection.
Oh,
Since everything's gonna be flowing a lot better on Cesar Chavez, we
Yeah.
want that intersection to flow even better otherwise it's gonna be backing up across the Orgullo del Sol apartments or even back to Walmart during peak hours. So that's something that we need to be changing as far as the design side, and then we'll go out to bid on that one.
how will that delay the installation of the signal, light signal in that area, once you do that?
It will delay, but redoing the design to include the double left turns, it will only delay it a few months.
Okay.
Versus, I mean, we won't have to wait years or anything. It just be in a few months to redesign what we have now.
Okay.
But it will be more suitable to keep traffic flowing.
Yeah.
With now that the signals are gonna go in on Fourth Avenue and with the full build out. It's not just gonna be one additional turn lane, it's gonna be the full build out.
Okay.
So that's sort of what we're gonna go off of for that intersection. We're currently under design for County 20, second and
Right there.
Sidewinder Road. And that's, it's winding. We're not we're putting a signal. There's a signal shown there because we're still considering doing like a hawk or some kind of, signal to only use during peak hours. And then once peak hour is done, traffic can flow freely like if there wasn't a signal.
Good.
So that's being considered at this time. We think we're gonna be done with design in the next couple months. We have some funding for construction. We could start construction this fiscal year. We just need to see what the estimate comes back as once it's complete. Yeah, so this is another that I sort of skipped, but Avenue F and County 24th Street might be getting a signal, but that will be determined once we have the analysis of that traffic study that's going to be conducted and should be completed in the next few months. But back to back to the overall map, another project that we have going on that's in the inception, but we're actually doing design is Merrill Avenue. Merrill Avenue between County 22nd and Los Oros. We're actually looking at widening that project. We're going to be seeking funding from CDBG. Conversations have been started with the landowner next to it for right of way. We think everything's lined up to move forward. But again, it will be waiting for our next turn for funding, but we're going to be working on the design for that. And the main thing is just to increase circulation through this area of town, especially since Merrill is wider south of Los Oros all the way to Cesar Chavez Boulevard. So with that, I think I sort of covered all the projects that are ongoing, no real specifics, but I'm here to answer specific questions on any other projects.
Those are the main ones I mean, people were asking if they were gonna occur or not occur. The signals, the light signals are very important because we constantly see that the stop signs are, I mean, it becomes really hectic, especially when it's like prime time or hours in the morning or in the afternoon. And like, I've seen people just sit there and people are want to make left turn, right turn. And I think those signals will make a big difference, especially in those intersections. On 22nd Street, that's becoming more and more difficult to cross. If you're going down, if you're going northwise, it's becoming dangerous at one point. Yeah, we definitely need to get a light signal in that area. We need to think forward. Port of entry is coming, so, this city needs to get ready for that impact. It really does. So thank you, Mr. Vera.
Have you had the conversations with Mr. Davis? Tom Davis in regards to the future long-term Sixth Avenue extension down to kind of 22?
We have had conversations with them. We don't have like a conceptual or anything, just discussions. And really because mainly those conversations happened when we were looking at that development, just, east of Sixth, north of the canal. Well, actually both sides, north and south. But, they said really show us what you're looking at and we definitely will look at it for a license. We do have it in our planning that project will be needed down the road. I mean, we definitely need a connection from the Mesa to the valley. Especially with how busy our Main Street gets.
Not help out Fourth, Eighth, and 10th Avenue, I mean, big time there, so.
Yeah. And you know, from the staff side, we can do like a conceptual, something that's not a full design for maybe, but for budget time for council to consider more funding on it. We really don't have a budget number for it, but it's really something definitely that it's worth having so that we can plan ahead down the road, whether it takes 2 years, 5 years, but really having that budget number would be definitely helpful.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue there is getting the right of way from the landowners and all that, because that's gonna take time too, so. At the same time, start on the budget conversation, savings, it'll piggy bank there for 5 years down, but just have everything else lined up. But después no decir we need it, and now we need to do everything, so just keep that in mind. I know you've had those conversations, but keep that in your forefront there.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's amazing.
Para no complicarte la vida.
Yeah.
No, can you zoom in back when estás haciendo la Sidewinder Road and the light up there? They're perfect. Barkley owns all that land, right? Who owns that down there?
Right there,
Yeah, that little patch of island that's between
Yeah.
where the stroke. Who?
that is Barkley.
And perfect. And if it was perfect, he would give us 8th Avenue, give us the right, we go straight to avoid that curve. And then the remainder parcel that he has left over there could probably be done into a little commercial plaza or something else for that area.
You're thinking going through the high school?
No, 8th Avenue acá, donde empieza la curva, más para arriba. To your up, to your right.
Right.
My right, I guess.
Right,
there.
un poquito más.
Ahí era perfecto que la 8 se fuera derechito, because that would help also County 22 with those new subdivisions, turning lanes y todo esto. Instead of having that Sidewinder dangerous 10 curves in that little stretch of miles, so if he would be happy to donate this land to us or sell it or something, I mean, that would be a conversation. Whenever you meet with him, throw it out there, ¿qué te dice?
Couple of million.
No, but I mean, the road, pero then he could keep the land and do something there. I mean, that could be a little patch for a little plaza or something then. Never know.
Yeah, I mean, we can test the waters with his engineer.
Yeah, whenever you guys talk to him.
Dow
because-
Robbins has a good idea, usually what he goes, he really follows his discretion and I can check, pick his brain, see what he thinks.
Because I don't think they get a lot of product out of that piece of land for farming because of the angle and the way they plant it. It's a lot, it's like leftover, no es un rectangle, pues it's half a wannabe circle, I guess. Whatever that little island is.
Yeah, it's something.
Test the
definitely-
waters.
Yeah, it does definitely this, worth checking with them.
Okay, good. Any questions from council? Sounds good, Mr. Vera. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're gonna go with item number 2F, update followed by discussion and possible direction of staff. Memos regarding the City of San Luis Parks, Paths and Trails Master Plan.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. We started the process for this document, 2020. We conducted two community meetings and the results are part of the draft that is attached to the agenda. The next step on the process is to take it to the Planning and Zoning Commission, then we'll present it to City Council. And in a work session and then for approval on a regular meeting. We have been working with different departments like parks, public works, economic development, police and fire. Although this plan hasn't been adopted yet, we are moving forward with the recommendation of implementation for the plan. Some examples are the bike lanes that have been added to any new projects on streets like Sixth Avenue and Avenue F. And then parks continue to update and renovate existing parks facilities. And they continue to work on the new East San Luis Park, 20-acre park. The document is attached to the agenda. Council has any questions? I was not able to add as many pictures as Eloy and Jorge, but
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. I'm like,
I'll bring it on the work session for next month.
I don't know, and Jorge and Eloy got you bit. I'm sorry, it's just, no, it's good. That's good. No, I just want to make sure it gets done because it's very important. It's very crucial. People have been asking and people are been comparing to other communities. And we need to pass. We need where people can actually do exercise and feel comfortable and feel safe. And the lighting, for example, the lighting is a big issue. And so it's very important. Green areas are very, very important. And so I just want to make sure we continue this item because has a tendency to kind of lay low. And if it doesn't get approved, it doesn't happen. And I think it's part of San Luis. I think we need to be smart about it. The city of San Luis is growing. And we need to be, that needs to be part of the city. Okay, because we have way too much pavement and not enough green, not enough pass. And it's very important because I see a lot of people walking in the evenings on our streets, our sidewalks, our poorly lit sidewalks. And I think Yuma has really nice pathways. Somerton has really nice pathways. And we can do better. I know we can. But we need that master plan. So
Yeah,
appreciate-
and one of the sections of the master plan is the recommended grants that the city can get to do any improvements with pathways.
That's the key because there are grants out there. Most of the stuff that Somerton does, it's through grants.
Yeah.
The city of Yuma, grants. And it doesn't cost them, but it's just got to be persistent. So thank you, Jose. I wanted to hear that. Thank you.
Okay.
But Jose, give me staff so I could get a grant later. I read your eyes. I read your mind, dude. I'll speak for all of you. You guys want staff?
Jose, this is the opportunity for you to ask, okay? Grant writer. Appreciate it, okay? So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. So I'll now motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion, there's a second. All those in favor? All those against? Motion carries. Buenas noches a todos. Have a good night. Staff, thank you so much. I oversight and I decide executive decision. And thank you, Mr. Matias. And you can go to Yuma.